everybody, my name is Suzanne Tomasello. I am an adult educator and motivational coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about healthy eating on a budget. So I'm going to just start off with what exactly healthy eating is. I'm going to share my screen with you because I've got some slides prepared that I'd like to go through with you. And my screen's a little slow, sorry. Okay, so healthy eating on a budget. What exactly does healthy mean? Sorry, bear with me here. Things never go right when you want them to. Okay, day one, what is healthy? We're going to look at how to know what to eat. Calories, fats, carbs, and proteins. I know it says glycemic index and it also says reading labels, and we will talk about those, but that's not going to be in today's video, only because one thing that I've learned by doing these videos is that they can get a little bit lengthy, and I know we're all really super busy, and the last thing you want to do is log into our group and find out that now you need to watch a half-an-hour video. So the other part is that I know it can get overwhelming, so I've just tried to break things down into smaller segments. So for today, we're going to look at what exactly eating healthy means and looking at calories, fats, carbs, and proteins. So what do we mean by healthy? Dictionary definition, it's indicative of or promoting good health. So what is health? Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and it's not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So basically, we want to eat foods that are going to promote a good state of physical, mental, and social well-being. So how do we know if a food item is healthy? I hope that this is not something new to you and you've seen this food pyramid before, but basically it is pretty basic. So the bottom of the pyramid is the area where you can have higher amounts of servings of food. So bread, cereal, rice, and pasta, 6 to 11 servings. And then at the top, fats, oils, and sweets you would use sparingly. So this would be based off of your age and your level of activity. So that gives you an idea of how to be healthy and how to choose the right kinds of foods. Okay, calories. We all hear about calories all the time. Calories are a measure of energy. If you take in more calories than what your body needs, then you're going to gain weight unless you burn off the extra calories through exercise. And basically, whatever calories you're not burning off that you're taking in every day, it's being stored in your body as fat so that you have those fat reserves in case you need energy for something. That's basically how the body is built. So calories are not created equal. If you have 100 calories of vegetables and you have 100 calories of sweets, yes, it's the same amount of calories, but the nutritional breakdown or component in each pile of food is very different, and it will affect your body differently. So there's many free online calculators to help you determine your caloric needs, and you can follow those online to determine based on your height and your weight how many calories you should be eating in a day. Okay, a little bit on how your body processes food. So this is basically an overview. It is pretty important to understand how these things work, and it'll all come together in the end. So just bear with me as I go through this part. So different foods go through different metabolic pathways. Some of these pathways are more efficient than others. The more efficient a metabolic pathway is, the more of the food energy is used for work and less is dissipated as heat. So the thermic effect of food is a measure of how much different foods increase energy expenditure due to the energy required to digest, absorb, and metabolize the nutrients. Basically, certain foods are that you burn calories just by digesting them. So for example, protein is 25 to 30%, carbs are 6 to 8%, and fat is 2 to 3%. So that's a thermic effect range of those macronutrients. Water, carbs, proteins, and fats are macronutrients. So protein, the thermic effect of that is 25%. So if you took in 100 calories of protein, your body, just going through the natural digestive process, is going to burn an extra 25 calories just by processing that. So that 100 calories that you're taking of protein is really only 75 calories in the end. Whereas for fat, it's only 2%. So 100 calories coming in, you're only going to use up 2% of the thermic effect, so it's 98 calories that you're actually taking in and absorbing. So studies are showing us that high protein diets boost metabolism by 80 to 100 calories per day compared to lower protein diets. And metabolism is the process in which your body converts food or glucose to energy, if you weren't aware of that. So basically, if we're looking at those macronutrients, protein is the one that takes up the most thermic effect. So you're burning those calories more when you're taking them in just through the natural digestive process. So macronutrients, as I mentioned, water, carbs, proteins, and fats. You need to have large amounts of these in your diet every day. Micronutrients, those are vitamins and minerals, so really important. You need to have those as well, but you don't need to have as many of those in your diet as you do of the macronutrients. This is a simple classification chart. Basically just shows you what you need these items for. So water is to provide body fluid and to help regulate your body temperature. Carbohydrates are as a fuel for energy for body heat and work. Fats are used as a fuel for energy and essential fatty acids. Protein is used for growth and repair. Minerals are for developing body tissues and for metabolic processes. Vitamins are for metabolic processes and protection. And indigestible and unabsorbable particles, including fiber, those are for metabolic processes and protection and forming a vehicle of nutrients to add bulk to your diet and to provide a habitat for bacterial flora. So getting the right balance. You need to consume the right balance of protein, carbs, and fat so that you can maintain a healthy weight and optimize your energy levels. Protein and carbs both contain 4 calories per gram, while fat provides 9 calories per gram. Proteins, their function, it's an essential to the structure for red blood cells and for the proper functioning of antibodies for resisting infection and for the regulation of enzymes and hormones, for growth, and for the repair of body tissue. It should account for 10 to 35% of the calories consumed each day, depending on your activity level. And if you remember just a moment ago, I told you that protein, you're burning more calories just digesting it, so it will help you with your metabolism. Protein sources. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and they're found in a variety of foods. Meat, milk, cheese, and egg are complete proteins, and they have all of the essential amino acids. Other sources of protein include whole grains, rice, corn, beans, legumes, oatmeal, peas, and peanut butter. For vegetarians, vegans, or those who don't eat meat, fish, eggs, or dairy products, it's really important to get a variety of those other foods in order to get enough protein in your diet. So since protein calories are 4 per gram, if your goal was to consume 20% of your calories from protein, you'd need to eat 400 calories or about 100 grams of protein per day if you were consuming a 2,000 calorie diet. And then high protein foods include lean meat, poultry, seafood, soy products, eggs, dairy foods, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are a major source of energy, and they should account for 45 to 60% of the calories consumed every day. Since carbohydrates contain 4 calories in each gram, you need to calculate your carb requirements by dividing 45 to 60% of your calorie needs by 4. So for example, if you required 2,000 calories per day, you'd aim to eat 900 to 1,300 of those calories from carbohydrates, or 225 to 325 grams per day. Healthy, nutrient-dense carbs are found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, low-fat milk, low-fat yogurt, nuts, and seeds. So there's good carbs and bad carbs, and what you need to know is that you need carbs, but you want to make sure that you're eating the good carbs. So sugars, also known as simple carbs or bad carbs, those are the monosaccharides and disaccharides. So sources are found in fruits. So think of those that end in the word "ose": sucrose, glucose, fructose, pentose, and then your milk, lactose, and soft drinks and sweets. So they give you a quick source of energy. They're rapidly digested, so you're hungry again or you're craving an energy burst quickly. So, sometimes people say, yeah, I'm really like, I need a boost, I need something quick, or sometimes, athletes will have, sugary something as they're going through like marathons and things just to keep their energy level up and give them that quick burst of energy. So complex carbs, those are the good carbs. So they take longer to digest, so they leave you feeling fuller longer. They're a slow release into your system. And these whole plant foods are great sources of complex carbs. So green vegetables, whole grains, and foods made from them, such as oatmeal, pasta, and whole grain breads. Starchy veggies, such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, and pumpkin, beans, lentils, and peas. So although they're good for you, just remember that carbohydrates are 45 to 60% of your total daily calories. Complex carbs are also referred to as dietary starch, and they're made up of sugar molecules strung together like a necklace or branched like a coil. They're often rich in fiber, so they're satisfying and health promoting. And complex carbs are commonly found in whole plant foods, and therefore they're also often high in vitamins and minerals. Fats. So fats should account for 30% or less of the calories consumed every day, with saturated fats accounting for no more than 10% of the total fat intake. So saturated fats is the kind of fat that forms into like a lard or a solid at room temperature. So fats are a concentrated form of energy which help to maintain your body temperature and protect your body tissues and organs. And fat plays an essential role in carrying the 4 fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. So even if you're eating mostly fat-free foods, excess consumption will result in additional body fat. Fat calories in food are readily stored, while it takes energy to transform protein and carbohydrates to body fat. The only proven way to reduce body fat is to burn more calories than one consumes. So excess calories from protein and carbs are converted to and stored as fat. So I already talked to you a little bit about how protein is very important to you, and that if you took in 100 calories of protein, it would only really account for 75 because it takes 25 calories are burned just in the natural digestive process. And if you are not burning off the calories that you're taking in from your protein and from your carbs in a day, and if you're taking in too many of them, then it's stored as fat. And you can never get rid of your fat cells. So basically, your fat cells can get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they expand and they burst and they actually duplicate. So once you have all these fat cells circulating in your system, you can't get rid of them unless you physically remove them through some kind of a surgery like a liposuction. You can only ever shrink those fat cells. So once they're there, and if you do get healthy and you shrink them and you get fit, it is a lifestyle that you need to keep at because it's very easy for those fat cells just to come back and expand again. Okay, good and bad fat. So saturated fat tends to increase your blood cholesterol levels, and it's found mostly in meat and dairy products as well as some vegetable oils. Butter is high in saturated fat, while margarine tends to have more unsaturated fat. But a lot of research has been done to show us that it's actually better to eat smaller quantities of butter than it is to eat margarine, which is full of man-made chemicals. So I grew up with the understanding that it was better to eat margarine, and I grew up eating country crock, and that was what was in my mind and how I ate for a long time, not just with margarine, but with many different products that have been marketed for us to be healthier and diet or lower in fat and things like that, which is one of my pet peeves, I guess, now is I'm on a mission to make sure that people understand this, because this is how it was marketed to me and how I grew up, and I thought I was doing something healthy before, but more and more we're learning every day that these chemicals that are put into our foods and preservatives, artificial ingredients that are in our foods are being linked to several types of diseases. They're causing inflammation in our bodies. So really, really, really important to understand that fat is not necessarily the enemy, and when fat is removed from a food, then an artificial ingredient or chemical is usually put in its place, and those are what are being linked to different diseases every day. If you just do some Googling on some of the ingredients that are in margarine or other foods that you have in your home right now, I think you would find it rather alarming to see just what these things are. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at your fats and when you're looking at margarine. As I mentioned earlier, saturated fats, those are the ones that tend to be solid at room temperature, with the exception of tropical oils. I will tell you, coconut oil is a saturated fat, but it is something that I swear by. I love coconut oil. I love the coconut oil that tastes a little bit coconutty and smells a little coconutty too, but you can buy them not like that. I know some people don't like that. But I use coconut oil in place of butter. I actually even spread it on my toast, and I love it. So there are many health benefits of coconut oil. So just a little tip, that's something I do. You might want to check that out. Okay, so polyunsaturated fat, this tends to lower your blood cholesterol levels, and it's found mostly in plant sources, so safflower, sunflower, soybean, corn, and cottonseed. And your monounsaturated fat, this tends to lower your bad cholesterol or your LDL cholesterol. It's found in both plant and animal products such as olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil, and in some plant foods such as avocado. So these are your good fats. Fat requirement. So since fat provides 9 calories per gram, you calculate your fat needs by dividing 20 to 35% of your calorie requirements by 9. Based on these recommendations, you should eat 400 to 700 calories from fat, or about 44 to 78 grams of fat if we were looking at that 2,000 calorie bracket again. To reduce your risk for heart disease, you need to choose healthy, unsaturated fats such as vegetable oils, fish oil, hummus, avocados, nuts, and seeds instead of high-fat meats, shortening, and full-fat dairy products. So that's it for today. Our next video, we're going to talk about the glycemic index, and we're going to talk about reading labels. So I know this was a lot of information today, and I'm sorry, but I do need to get the information out there so we're all on the same page. There's no test. Nobody's going to give you a pop quiz tomorrow to make sure you understood all of this. And you can go back and you can look at the video again if you wanted to rewatch it just to refresh things in your head. But basically, just to recap, looking at what is healthy, you can look at a component or a number of calories that you have to eat or that you should eat in a day for your level of activity and for your height and your weight. Remember that not all calories are created equal, and that your calories consist of different micronutrients. So that's your minerals and your vitamins, and then your macronutrients, which is your fats, your carbs, and your proteins. And that protein, having a diet higher in protein will help with your metabolism, and also you will burn more calories just by digesting the protein. So you do want to have more higher protein, and lean meats and things like that are your best high protein sources. And then for your carbohydrates, you want to have carbs. Carbs are not evil. It's eating the right amount of carbs, and it's eating the complex carbs. So complex carbs are the ones that take longer to break down and digest, so they keep you feeling fuller longer. And carbs are what are giving us our energy. So really important that you understand carbs give you energy, and your protein helps to build and repair in your body. And then your fats are needed, okay? Your fats. So you want to have your good healthy fats to help with your cholesterol, and also to give you those essential acids, fatty acids that you need. So that's sort of where we're at in terms of understanding what healthy is. In the very end, at the end of our learning group, I promise you I will give you a system that will make this very easy for you. But for now, just know that that's how you can sort of determine where things are for your healthy choices. And I hope that you'll have got some information today, or received some information today that is going to be very helpful for you. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I definitely would love to help you. So I'm going to end the video now, and I'll see you tomorrow.